that it gets better.
Don't worry, it gets better. You know, work, trabajo. Hello, Mara, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you. I'm very happy to talk to you today.
Me too. Tell me a little bit more about yourself and a little bit more about your business.
Okay, I'm Mara, I told you that already. I'm Romanian, and right now I'm living actually in Romania, in Cluj-Napoca. What I'm doing, I'm a psychotherapist actually, and for now I have like my own, practice. I have my clients, and my dream is actually to expand a little bit and have collaborators. Like have a center that has like more mental health services, not only psychotherapy. It would be like maybe mindfulness, yoga, or we could give like workshops or retreats, maybe that.
And what are your challenges right now?
Well, my challenges right now, there are many actually. So I am a psychotherapist, I'm a specialist in this, but I don't really have the skills for all the other part, like social media, how to get well known, and that would be like a big challenge for me. And also something that's really important for me is to find people, my collaborators that have like the same values as I do.
What kind of collaborators are you looking for?
Well, for now it would be also like psychologists, psychotherapists, because this is like the service that I provide and that I'm good at, and I want to find people that do the same thing. And maybe like in more years we are gonna expand, to all kinds of specialists, but for now we are gonna do like psychotherapy because we care about the part of mental health, and what I'm doing is actually improve the mental health, the quality of life of people through psychotherapy.
Yeah, and is there like, because I don't really know much about what types of psychotherapists there are, is it something, do they all need to specialize, or there is a general psychotherapist as well? Or what is your sauce,
Okay, so my basic training it's in CBT, it's like cognitive behavioral therapy, and actually now I'm also studying the emotion focus therapy. There are like many kinds of psychotherapies, and my collaborators, well, I don't really care what they are gonna be specialized in, as long as it is like scientific, we know it works. And I usually prefer actually people to have the base training in CBT, because it's the scientific one, and from there you can go and expand and learn a lot more. I actually prefer people that know more kinds of therapy, not only one. But yes, when you have at the beginning the CBT one, usually you know how to find information, how to know if it's valid, if it's good. Not necessarily, but usually it helps you.
Yeah. Lately I feel like everybody, maybe after COVID, maybe we were just, thinking about too many things, or we had the time to think about too many things. I feel like everybody's either burnout or depressed, or, mental health is a big topic right now. How do you feel the same, that something has changed after the COVID? Is it, I don't know, easier to find clients? I guess many people are starting therapy right now, which is very important, but how do you feel about that?
Well, sincerely, I actually started my clinic, like my practice, during COVID.
Oh, wow.
So it was like 2 years ago, and it was like in the middle of it. I think like at the beginning, of course, I didn't have a lot of clients because I was at the beginning, no one knew me and I didn't know my name, nothing. But I think like now it's getting, like to fully booked, so that's okay. But if I would think about what my friends do or like my family, I think people do need it more and more, or they become aware more and more,
Yeah.
right? That they do need sometimes help from someone else.
Definitely. Definitely. We realized a lot of stuff, I believe, during that time. And for example, how? Because I would guess that being a psychotherapist is not an easy task to do. You're dealing with everybody's problems, which is challenging, I would guess, sometimes. How many clients can one psychotherapist take so that they keep their sanity at the end of the day?
Well, good question. I also had that question, when I started. I don't know, I think each person has their different number. For me, it would be somewhere between 15 and 20 per week. Yeah, so you can have more in a month because not everyone comes every week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like working hours, like actually in sessions per week, for me it would be 15 to 20. And that still feels a lot sometimes, and it's important that I also take care of my mental health, and that I have time for myself. I go on vacation, I go to capoeira classes, they're my favorites. Yeah.
Do you have any other routines and small things that you do to keep yourself balanced and ready for everybody's challenges?
So I do have like some small things that I do all the time. For example, I have the weekly capoeira circle. I usually have like a weekly dinner with my friends. We have like the Thursday friends. We always have dinner on
Rituals.
Thursdays.
I love that.
Yeah, I try to go away on weekends and just relax, connect with the nature. I take a lot of vacation. For example, in summer, I usually go for at least 1 month. I go away to disconnect from everything. All my clients know this, and yeah, we just like have like one break of 1 month or 2 months, depending on how much I'm gone. And yeah, I think it's really important for me, so I have the energy to give it to my clients. And also I feel like it's a good example for them to see that the world is not burning if they just take vacation.
Okay, so yeah, for me, mental health is also a big topic since I started my burnout September last year. So it's been a year, and when everybody was telling me, oh, you're out for at least 6 months when you are a burnout, I was like, oh, how can you be out for 6 months? Like, that's not true. I've never seen anybody being out for that long. But on the other hand, when I see backwards right now and when I think about it, it was really like I'm not 100% back yet. So the first 6 months I was maybe working at like my 40% with so much energy and struggle to do whatever and to be enthusiastic about whatever. And one of the topics, because we discussed that in the our female entrepreneurship Bulgaria group for mental health, when we talked about was because how people, we always say, oh, I don't have time to travel, I don't have time to do that and this and whatever. And I read somewhere that you need to, of course, it's easier to plan. So if you want to have a dinner with your friends, plan ahead, plan for next week. If you want to go do tennis, plan as well. But there was something that I read that I believe was super useful for me, was plan your weekends. Plan them so that there's something that you do for yourself, because otherwise the weekend comes like that. It's Monday to Friday is like that, and then the weekend and you're like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I'm gonna do some laundry, I'm gonna organize my clothes or house or whatever, and then it's like poof, and it's over again. So planning your weekend beforehand, I'm guilty not doing it very often, but yet again I believe that was something that I was like, oh my god, I really need to. And I plan when I don't want to plan, and it was like super like frustrating for me to know that, oh my god, I need to plan my weekends in order to make them count for myself.
Yeah, like it's super important to plan your weekends, but even your everyday activities, like for relaxing, because people are like, oh, I have to do this. I don't know, like to wash the dishes, I have to work, I have to do some errands, whatever. But they never plan, like, oh, I need 1 hour of relaxing time. They don't plan that. And sometimes the time just goes and they didn't get any kind of relaxing time or, like happiness time. Because in the end, like many people come and they're like, oh, I'm not happy. And you ask them, what do you do in your everyday life to be happy? And they're like, nothing. So
yeah, how can, yeah.
It doesn't work like that.
True. Did you always know that you wanted to be a psychotherapist?
Actually, no. I didn't know that before. I studied psychology because I just thought like this is good for everything. Like whatever I will want to do in my life, it's important to know psychology. And after that, I got like a sabbatical year, like my gap year, and I went traveling for that year. And I just like I met so many people, with super different cultures, especially in Indonesia. Indonesia is like the love of my life. And I met them and I saw, I learned in a non-formal way what I couldn't actually learn in the formal way in university, because they teach you about, I don't know, like diversity and tolerance and kindness and stuff like that, but until you actually live it, you don't really know what it is. You don't know how to deal with it. So I went there in the world, I saw like the diversity, I embraced it, I was like in love with it. And that was the moment that I actually decided this is the job for me, to be a psychotherapist. I can't see anything else that would make me, feel fulfilled.
Yeah, definitely. Traveling really expands our horizons, and this is like a cliche in a way, said like that, but it expands our tolerance. It makes us have less prejudice. And I really, really believe whoever thinks that they are too far on some kind of political, a timeline, or I don't know how you say it, but if you think that if you have very strong opinions towards people, certain cultures, certain religions, whatever, my advice always is just travel, because you don't know. Yeah, we're all people. We are all, I believe, are beautiful in our differences. And until you know it, you're scared of it. And that I believe is very scary also. People who don't expand their horizons so that they can see different cultures, get to know them, and see that we're all people trying our best at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I think after, traveling and, getting to know so many cultures and politics and, I don't know, like religions and everything, to see how people live and, all the social classes, I think it's extremely hard to have strong opinions after that. Because it's just like, you can see things from many angles. It's not like one angle anymore. You can see it from all of them. So, having only one very strong opinion, it's hard.
Yeah. I know Indonesia is your favorite place. What did you like most about the culture there?
Well, their kindness. I mean, I think they're like the kindest people on earth. They're like, you meet them for 2 seconds and they're already inviting you to their home. I felt always so safe. I mean, first time I went there, I went solo traveling, and I felt that I could, just sit on the street waiting for something because, I don't know, maybe I don't have money or accommodation or anything, and someone would just show up, talk to me, and take me to the house, his or her house. It was like amazing. I feel like it's so easy to be there. It's amazing.
You did solo traveling for how long?
In Indonesia, I was like 4 months. Actually, I went with a volunteering project, and the volunteering project was maybe 1 month or 1.5 months. And after that, I just randomly met a guy at the coffee, and we started like traveling together for 10 days. And after that, I told him I'm gonna travel 1 more month to Bali, and he said like, oh, I'm coming with you. So we just traveled for 1.5 months together. A random Indonesian guy that I met there, the kindest person ever. And yeah, it was like totally unexpected, and not in a romantic way, because I actually had like my boyfriend at home. It was just like people being kind and spontaneous, like, and amazing.
Wow. And how old were you back then?
I was 21.
Was that your first solo traveling?
Kind of, but not really. I mean, I've been with Work and Travel, which is like a program to go to USA and work there and travel there. I went there alone. I met people there, of course, but I went by myself. In my Erasmus, when I went, I also met like a girl there, a Romanian one, but I applied for it, to go alone. And yeah, I've been traveling around, like even after my Erasmus, I've been couch surfing for a few weeks in Spain and Portugal. So I did travel alone a bit before that.
Well, what is your advice for women who want to do solo traveling but they're worried about it? What advice would you give us? Because I haven't done it as well yet.
Well, the advice is just like do it. I was terrified the first time I did it. I think like the first time I actually went alone, like no one else, just people I met in hostels, was when I traveled after my Erasmus. It was like maybe 3 weeks, Spain and Portugal, and I was terrified. I was almost crying because I would have, to go by myself everywhere. It wasn't not even a program, right? When you go with volunteering or you go to Work and Travel, they give you a house, they give you money because you work and you can do stuff. But here it was like just going, and I was terrified, but I just enjoyed it so much, and I loved so much, that you're never actually alone. You go in hostels or, in places where you meet other people and you talk to them and you can travel with them if you want. So never really alone,
Yeah. Traveling is actually great, but would you do it full time? Like live 1 month here, then live 1 month there, traveling all the time and moving all the time?
Yeah. Tricky question. I don't think so. I really love security, to have my own space. That's why actually I'm staying in Cluj-Napoca. I'm staying there with my fiance. I love to have, my community, to have my people. And I do feel that I have that there, right? I have like my Thursday friends. I have my mountain group. I have my capoeira group. I have like the mental health group. I know people there. They're like my people. That's like my city. And I love, to have that feeling.
Yeah, it's great to have an international community, to meet a lot of people, but having roots and a place to call home. You can have many homes, but there's always one that have a special place in your heart.
Exactly.
What will you say to your 18-year-old self?
Oh, that it gets better.
Don't worry, it gets better.
Yeah, totally. And that you would be able to do everything you want.
Nice. So we're talking about mental health, but I also want to talk about productivity. In general, I want to ask you about your productivity tips and how do you keep yourself productive. But also I'm interested in, do you think there is problem? Not a problem, but like a battle between mental health and productivity?
Such a good question, right? I don't think there is battle between these two, because you can't be productive if you don't have a good mental health. And if you say, yes, but if I wouldn't take so many breaks, I'd be more productive, it would be yes, but for how long? Yeah, because as you said at the beginning, you got like in a burnout. Maybe you are very productive for 6 months, let's say, but after that 6 months, not so much. So it's always, you need a balance, because you can have them together, but only if you put them together. Yeah, like invest in your, life, in your business, being productive, but still taking care of yourself, of your breaks, of your friends, family, roots, security, relaxing time.
Yeah, so one experiment that we did with my team is we do yearly qualitative peer checklist, which is basically a list of questions that they're trying to value the character and the competence of each person of the team, and it's anonymous, and you get only the statistics and then the feedback about where are you on these different things. And it's super useful if anybody wants to try it as well. And what we found out, and it's on one hand it's good to know it, because normally it can come intuitively, but it's different to see it as an actual result that everybody, when you put it down on a scale, you see that it is. And we found out based on it is that hard work doesn't equal productivity. Productivity in general, there are many tips about it. I love this topic, it's one of my favorites. And in general is how to work smarter, not harder, and how to optimize your energy and time in a way that you do the most important things in the best possible way. And it doesn't mean just, work, trabajo, right? So tell me about your productivity tips.
Yeah, so for me, productivity, it's, I guess, to do the things. So I don't really care about doing things fast. I just want them done. So it's just like, when you want to eat an elephant, you just take it piece by piece by piece. Yeah, you can't really eat all of it in one bite. Yeah, it's you need to do it piece by piece. That means that what I'm thinking all the time when I want to start something, but I feel it's like too big, too much, is just a little bit, like 1%. It's more than nothing. So I just have this in my mind all the time. Oh, but I'm not doing enough. 1%, it's more than nothing. And in a long term, in 1 week, it's gonna be, if I have to write 1 page every day, in 1 week it's gonna be 7. Maybe in the end I need 100, but I can do it in 100 days. I don't do it like all in 1 day, because then it's gonna be like too much for my brain to be able to do that. So just like a little bit, it's more than nothing.
Thank you so much for that. And on the female topic a little bit, because here we're a female, it's a program fellowship for female entrepreneurs. What it's like to be a female in your industry?
I mean, it's the rule, I guess. We don't really have that many men in this industry, so being a woman is not really hard.
You're the majority, basically.
Yeah, we are the majority.
Why do you think that is?
I mean, it's probably, the feminine energy. It's always, the empathy, the, creativity, and we do need that a lot in this job. But also, I think men are really good at it also. I really wanted more, masculine energy in this field. It would be really nice to have it. Actually, the men that work in the industry are also extremely good and competent. But women are, with this, we are warm. We are we hug people.
Yeah.
With, of course, not really hugging, but we are, offering this warmth that they need.
Yeah. It's interesting that you say it, because it is an industry female dominated, And maybe, as you said, we need more balance there as well, because that's how things become better and, you know, work better.
Yeah, that's true. I could feel it a lot when I was studying. You know, my master or my bachelor's, and even, you know, like in the psychotherapeutical formation that I have in the training, there are like just like so many women and just a few men, and we actually need, you know, their point of view, also their energy. It changes a lot the dynamic, and it's important to have it. I mean, if you don't get to know their problems and their lives, because that's what you do in your training, right? You also have like therapy between yourselves. It's hard after that to have clients because maybe you don't really know them or the energy. So we need, you know, to meet men that open up, that talk, so we can get to know that.
Yeah, oh, very good point. And how is the ratio in with your clients? Are more men, more women?
Well, actually, I think it's like 50-50.
Oh, okay, good balance.
Yeah.
Which means that men are starting to open up, because this is also a you know, feminism issue as well. Men to start opening up a little bit more and working on their mental health much more.
Yeah, they do come to therapy. Maybe sometimes they are more in the cognitive parts, and it's harder to go deeper, you know, to emotions. But yeah, they do come.
That's great. I have a totally different topic that I want us to cover, which is culture. We talked a little bit more about Indonesia and about traveling, but tell me a little bit more about Romania. What is it to be a therapist there? What is it to be just starting entrepreneur there? And what is the word that we need to know in Romanian?
Okay. A word that we need to know in Romanian. I think that would be. Oh, I don't have the t-shirt with me, but I really like it. It's not really in all Romania. It's in the region where I stay now. It's in Cluj. Well, actually in Transylvania. You have this like no bine, which could mean like anything. It can mean yes, it can mean no, it can mean maybe, it can mean I'm annoyed, it can mean I'm super happy. It can mean anything.
No bine?
No bine.
No bine.
Yeah, it's something that we use, you know, for everything in this Ardeal region. And I really like it. Yeah, I like, you know, because it can mean anything. You can just go to people, say that. If you write it, it's bad because no one knows what it means. But when you say it, they can.
Pronunciation, it changes.
they can get it. Yeah. So I feel it's like it's funny.
Yeah. It is. No bine.
And about Romania and how to be a psychologist in Romania, I guess it's not extremely easy because there is still a lot of stigma. But in the same time, I live in Cluj, which is like a very Western city, let's say. Yeah, it's like very international. People there are very open to traveling, to seeing new people. So it's easier. They're more open to this, to going to therapy. The IT industry is like huge, and they have like a lot of benefits from work. Some companies offer mental health services, which is like great. And yeah, and actually young people also come to therapy because it's cool, you know. It's like now it's cool to go to psychologist.
Finally.
And it's like it's amazing, yeah. Because it should be cool. It is like really important to do that, you know, to have someone to talk to and, you know, put some objectives, get your objectives. It's amazing.
It is necessary. I believe it's like, it should be like the GP. You have a doctor for physical, doctor for mental health. I mean,
yeah.
So tell me about the break. Why are you here? How do you feel? It's already been a while since we were here.
Yeah, It's actually amazing to be part of this community, and I met so many amazing women that are doing so many amazing things. I really love it. And yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm learning so much because, yeah, as I told you, like I'm a specialist in psychotherapy, but I have like zero background in business. And that's like kind of a problem for me when I want to be entrepreneur. But I've learned so many things, like the webinars and the mentors. They told me so many new things, and they gave me so many tips and information. And yeah, there are like so many things that I didn't know before. And I feel it's like, oh, this is amazing, and this is amazing. I'd love to know this. And the project that the other women have, it's great. Oh, I wanted to say something. Yeah, I love that the mentors, they answer to all the questions, like like the small little questions. I know how to, make this offer, or how to contact or connect with people on LinkedIn, because that's what we do, right? Things that are super small and easy, that takes you maybe 1 minute of actually doing it, but maybe 3 hours of preparation because you have anxiety and you don't know how to write it or to do it. And like having people that are there telling you all these small things, telling you how to do it, it really helps you to actually do it, right? Like in procrastination in general, why do we procrastinate? Most of the time because we don't know how to do what we are supposed to do.
Afraid, and yeah, we don't know. And is it what you expected to be, the break?
Well, I didn't have any expectations, I guess. I came. I came. But yeah, I did expect to meet like amazing women. So maybe I was a bit afraid that I'm not gonna, be on the same vibe with everyone. But I feel it's like amazing. I shouldn't have thought about that at all. It's like not a problem. Everyone here is like so kind and like thoughtful about everyone's needs, which is like great. I think of course, as I was like a volunteer and I've been in Erasmus and all of these, I was scared of living with other people again, because I remember that back then it was very party and doing a lot of things and socializing so much and feeling pressure from outside. But here it's like, oh, I can breathe, because women here are like mature, and they know what they want, they know what they don't want, they don't put pressure on you, they don't have this kind of peer pressure that you have to be in some way. You can be however you want, you can be as authentic as you want, and it's okay. Which is like, you can always be authentic even when you feel judged, but it's harder. So I'm really happy that people here are like so nice.
There's a quote that somebody shared, do what, I'm gonna mess up the quote, but it was something like, do whatever your heart desires, because you're gonna be judged anyways. So you might as well do what you want. What advice would you give to the next breakers?
Next breakers, it would be just enjoy the experience as much as you can, and if you can, come without working, please do that. Because I think there are so many things that I would want to do extra and learn more, but I don't really have time, because I still, of course, work. My clients are extremely important for me, and I'm still working with them every day online. But yeah, if like someone can come here and just enjoy the break and that's all, that would be like amazing.
Thank you so much. And one final question, what is your favorite book and why?
My favorite book, wow, that's good question. I think it would be,
I know they change, could be your latest favorite.
my latest favorite. I mean, it's not from psychology, but also it's like I don't want to say only things about it. Like one book that I really love, it's, I think in English it would be like my amazing friend or my genius friend. I'm not sure how it is, but it's like the story of these two women that they've grown up together, but like being super different. But they grew up together in their story since they were like kids until, you know, they're super old. And it's amazing, you know, to see how they grew up, how they went through a lot of challenges together, how they got, you know, separated because they were like on different paths, but their paths always got together. And I felt like it's amazing to see that, right? It reminds me of the idea of community, of people being there and see you grow and live and having a family and everything. So I think it's like inspirational in that way. It's it's like a novel. But you can find a lot of psychology in that also if you want to look, you know, there.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much for watching. I hope it was interesting for you and that you're gonna watch the other episodes also. And if you want, just subscribe to Polly's channel.